When I woke up one morning, my mother-in-law, 3 years younger than me, and I came across news stories about our family. One said Beijing heiress by Ningbing had spent a fortune buying Jiang a yacht. The other said Beijing investment tycoon by Shang was watching the sunrise in the Maldives with his new lover. By Ningbing was my wife, and by Shang's was my father-in-law. When we got married, those two had sworn that even though we had married into their family, they would never be unfaithful. But now, that father and daughter were clearly cut from the same cloth. Shang Xinci and I exchanged a look, and silently reached the same decision. We were done marrying into this family. Bai Ningbing had always had gossip swirling around her, but they had always been superficial. But this time, she gave Jiang a yacht. Clearly, this was serious. I had also seen Jiang Yi's social media post. He had posted a photo of Bai Ningbing sitting on a soft bed. It only showed her from behind, but I recognized those sexy dimples in the small of her back. He had even captioned it, "No regrets in this life." I was about to like it and leave a comment, but Shang Xinci pressed down on my hand. "If you fall out with her, knowing Bai Ningbing, do you think she will let you walk away intact?" She looked at me with furrowed brows, strangely alluring. Shang Xinci was Bai Ningbing's stepmother. She was Bai Chengxi's young wife, whom he had married 4 years earlier. She was 3 years younger than me, but far sharper than I was. I looked at her in confusion. "Mom, what do you mean?" By family rank, she was my mother-in-law, but every time I called her mom, it felt awkward. Shang Xinci gave it serious thought. "I have 3 billion yuan. How much do you have?" "Maybe a little over 500,000 yuan. I felt ashamed. There really was a difference between a live-in son-in-law and a young wife. Still, it seemed, old Bai truly doted on Shang Xinci. He had given her so much money. After thinking for a moment, she winked at me. "You find a way to cause a scene. I will move the money. Then Mom will take you away with me." I nodded, though I was still uneasy. "You will not move the money and leave me behind, will you?" "Do not worry. I treat you like my own son." Shang Xinci gave me a wicked grin. That reassured me somewhat. To be fair, she and I had always been close, mostly because Bai Ningbing and Bai Cheng's were always busy. Besides work, they had endless social obligations. They often stayed away from home for days, and the Bai father and daughter did not like us showing our faces in public. So Shang Xinci and I spent the most time together. We were close in age and had plenty in common. I was funny, and she was bright and lively. We got along well. Besides, we had been through life and death together. Once, while we were grocery shopping, enemies of the Bai family spotted us. They chased us with knives, trying to hack us down. I snatched knives and protected her without caring whether I lived or died. I held on until the police arrived. After that, Shang Xinci treated me even better. But she also had a mischievous streak. While caring for me in the hospital, she would often say, "Do not worry, my eldest boy. Your wife's out fooling around, but Mom will take good care of you." That night, I was playing video games in the villa when Bai Ningbing stumbled home drunk. The one who brought her back was that young heartthrob Jiang Yi. When Bai Ningbing came in, she saw me playing Black Myth Wukong and immediately frowned. "Fang Yuan, besides playing games, what else can you do?" Jiang Yi chimed in sarcastically. "Brother Fang Yuan, you are so lucky. Having a weak stomach lets you live off a woman. Unlike me, working myself like a dog for my career." That only made Bai Ningbing angrier. She shook off Jiang Yi's hand and staggered toward me. "Fang Yuan, you were not like this before. You used to be so driven. Just look at what you have become." That made my blood boil. Damn it, she had the nerve to ask me. Back then, I earned 10 million yuan a year. I was a tech industry heavyweight with company shares. All because of one word from you, Bai Ningbing. You said you were afraid I would fool around with other women, so I quit my job. And now you despise me for playing games. Before I could argue back, Jiang Yi sneered and walked over. "Brother Fang Yuan, be more understanding. Sister Ningbing is busy every day. At least pretend to have some ambition." He raised his brows at me, then draped an arm over Bai Ningbing's shoulder. My mouth twitched. From the corner of my eye, I saw the stares. Shang Xinci clenched her fist at me. She was reminding me to make a scene. I made up my mind to raise hell. I had bottled up this anger for years anyway. I had long wanted to let it out. I threw down my controller and grabbed the wooden Monkey King staff beside the sofa. "Hey, you pretty boy. You seduced my wife, and you dare come to my door. Take a whack from your daddy." Before Bai Ningbing and Jiang Yi's stunned eyes, I swung the staff and struck Jiang Yi squarely on the head. He fell screaming, clutching his head and howling. I gave him no chance to fight back. While he screamed with his mouth open, I shoved the staff straight into his mouth. Half of his pearly white teeth were gone instantly. Jiang came to his senses and scrambled away, crying, "Sister Ningbing, help! Your husband has gone crazy." Watching him crawl away with his rear in the air, I immediately charged after him. I drove the staff forward in a vicious thrust and gave him a brutal shot right up the backside. He shrieked nonstop, clutching his rear and rolling on the floor. Ningbing finally snapped out of it and rushed over to pull me away. "Fang Yuan, have you lost your mind?" I snorted. Only after jabbing him a few more times did I withdraw the staff. Then I turned to her. "I have gone crazy. Throughout our marriage, I put up with every scandal surrounding you. But this time, you bought Jiang a yacht. Looks like you are serious about him. Otherwise, you would not have brought him home, would you?" "Bullshit. It is nothing like what you think. Besides, we are talking about you assaulting someone. You have to apologize to Jiang." Ningbing shouted at me furiously. I gave a cold laugh. "Yes, I assaulted him. So what? I will not apologize." "What are you going to do about it, Ningbing? Call the police. Have me arrested?" She was speechless, but Jiang clutched his rear and cried out, "Sister Ningbing, call the police. Do not let him get away with this." "Shut up." Ningbing shot him a glare. Jiang looked utterly stunned, as if he could not understand why she would not help him. I sneered. "Do you really think it is so easy to play the high society game? I am Ningbing's husband, at least in name. To protect the family name, she would never call the police on me. But you, even if I beat you to death, Ningbing would have to clean up my mess, because powerful families cannot afford scandals." Jiang could not say a word, and Ningbing's silence was the best answer to everything I had said. "Someone, take Jiang to the hospital. Say a stalker fan attacked him." Ningbing waved a hand impatiently. Once the villa was quiet again, she sat on the sofa, staring me down. "How many times have I told you, Fang Yuan? My socializing outside is only an act. Can you stop making a scene?" I took out my phone and found the photo Jiang had posted. Then I threw my phone right at her face. I gave a cold laugh. "Just acting. You took that act all the way to bed." Ningbing picked up the phone from the sofa. She glanced at the photo of her back on the screen, and her face went white. She looked up at me, a rare flash of panic in her eyes. "Fang Yuan, it was nothing like that. I only used Jiang's room to change clothes. I never thought he would dare secretly photograph me. Besides, wasn't I wearing a swimsuit?" My lips twisted. My eyes held undisguised mockery. "Who knows whether you had just finished working out?" Ningbing bit her lower lip hard, her eyes reddening. "Fang Yuan, must you think of me as such a filthy person? Am I just imagining it? Ningbing, all these years we've been married. At your demand, I kept my distance from every female friend. Damn it, even my pet cat had to be male. What about you? Whether it is some finance hotshot or tech prodigy, or a pretty young boy like Jiang, have you ever lacked men around you?" Rage shot to my head, and I clenched my fists tightly. Faced with my accusation, Ningbing grew paler and paler. Her lips trembled, but in the end she could only force out, "What exactly do you want?" I shook free the wrist she had been gripping. My voice was utterly cold. "What do I want? I will not be your live-in son-in-law anymore. Divorce." Ningbing, before I married you, I was a top technical expert at an internet tech company. If I return to work now, companies will be fighting over me. Ningbing froze for a moment. "Divorce? Are you insane?" She stood, her voice softening again, and reached for my arm. "Fang Yuan, let's go back to our room. I will explain everything properly." "Explain my ass. What is there to explain?" I truly wanted to shake her off and divorce her immediately, but I knew this woman had a possessive, unhinged streak. If we truly fell out beyond repair, she would never let me walk away unscathed. So I could only follow Xinci's earlier instructions. Make a scene first, keeping all her attention on me, while letting Beijing know I was causing trouble. So, I did not pull away from her. I followed her back to the bedroom. Once inside, Ningbing went to find her battle outfit. Soon, she came out wearing a maid outfit. Whenever she made me angry, she would put on that maid outfit and wear a foxtail. Maybe being a live-in son-in-law had been too stifling, but I always found that contrast irresistible. Her cheek brushed against my knee, her voice syrupy and soft. "Honey, please do not be angry anymore, okay? Are you still worked up?" I took a deep breath. I could not be bothered to keep pretending. I let my mind follow my body's honest desires. I could not help it. Ningbing was simply too beautiful with a stunning figure. Of all the women I had ever seen, only Shang Xinci could rival Bai Ningbing's beauty. Afterward, I leaned against the headboard and smoked. Bai Ningbing lay limp as a noodle in my arms. Honey, are you still angry? I ignored her and took out my phone to message Bai Cheng's father-in-law. Your daughter is fooling around again. She even bought him a yacht and brought him home. I hope you will agree to let your daughter and me divorce. I can leave with nothing. I will not take so much as a hair. Who are you talking to? I am tattling on you. Bai Ningbing. Do not think acting weak means this is over. This divorce is happening. She froze for a few seconds, then suddenly exploded. She climbed on top of me and raised her hand to slap me. Fang Yuan, who the hell do you think you are? Even if I have done nothing outside, and even if I had, you married into my family, so you would have to endure it. You want a divorce? You are seriously delusional. I made a quick counter move and knocked her to the edge of the bed, knocking her back to the edge of the bed. When I was bored at home, aside from gaming, I worked out too. After my enemies nearly hacked me to death last time, I even hired a combat coach, as long as I did not allow it. Bai Ningbing could not lay a finger on me. You dared hit me. Bai Ningbing burst into tears in disbelief. Then she turned and ran out of the bedroom. A message from Bai Cheng's arrived right after. Fang Yuan, you have definitely misunderstood. Ningbing was just making the rounds. By the way, I saw the trending topic about me. Did your mother-in-law say anything? Your mother-in-law has not seen it. If she does see it, help me keep her calm. I will straighten Ningbing out for you. Not long after that, Bai Ningbing was called overseas. After that, Shang Xinci and I accelerated the transfer of our funds. But the Bai family was too powerful. Money alone would not help us escape them. So Shang Xinci and I made a plan. On a dark, windy night, we took a yacht out to clear our heads. Many people on the yacht knew us both, and Jiang was there too. I had beaten him badly before, but his injuries had healed by then. When he saw Shang Xinci and me by the railing, he approached with a sinister look. Fang Yuan, did you think you could beat me and get away with it? Let me tell you the truth. Sooner or later, Bai Ningbing will be mine. And sooner or later, I will take your place. Shang Xinci and I exchanged a glance. Then we suddenly grabbed his hand and made him shove us. Jiang, what are you doing? I told you. I do not care about you and Bai Ningbing anymore. Why are you still trying to hurt me? Please, Jiang, do not kill me. I screamed miserably. Once I had drawn enough attention, I let myself fall backward. Shang Xinci did the same, falling backward at the same time. With a splash, we both fell into the water. That night, the trending headlines updated. Beijing's powerful Bai family, live-in son-in-law Fang Yuan and young wife Shang Xinci, pushed off a yacht by Bai Ningbing's lover. Their fate still unknown. In truth, after Shang Xinci and I fell into the water, professionals led us into deeper waters. Diving equipment had been prepared there in advance. Shang Xinci and I had both learned to dive. After all, we had far too much time on our hands. So, we easily evaded the search and rescue teams. More than half an hour later, we came ashore at an abandoned dock. The dock actually belonged to the Bai family, but it had been abandoned for a long time. Later, when Shang Xinci and I learned to dive, we often came here. We even fixed up a room to rest in. The room was small. There was only one bed. Behind a cloth curtain were a toilet and a showerhead. After Shang Xinci and I arrived, we locked the door, then smiled at each other. To us, the Bai family was more like a cage. For love, I had willingly entered that cage. As for Shang Xinci, her parents were gravely ill and needed a huge sum of money to survive. That was why Bai Cheng's married her into the family. All along, I was the live-in son-in-law, and she was Bai Cheng's young wife. We had both followed the rules, but that did not mean we were not human. The thought sent a shiver through me. I turned to remind Shang Xinci, change quickly, or you will catch a cold. Then, I took off my soaking wet clothes. Shang Xinci quickly turned her back to me. This place is too small, is it not? We are running for our lives. Were you expecting a presidential suite? I looked at her, speechless. She hesitated for a moment, but still took off her drenched clothes. Back at home, I always made a point of looking away, and Shang Xinci always dressed conservatively. But now, from so close, I realized her skin was as soft and fair as a baby's, and her figure was no less stunning than Bai Ningbing's. Bai Cheng's really had it good, huh? Stop staring. Shang Xinci shot me a glare. She grabbed her backpack and headed behind the curtain. I will shower first. You are not allowed to peek. Relax. I am a perfect gentleman. I took a t-shirt from my backpack. After drying myself off, I lay down on the bed. On the cloth curtain, Shang Xinci's graceful silhouette was cast across it. I told myself not to look, but I could not help it, as if possessed. And the sound of running water only made me more restless. Then came a loud thud. Shang Xinci had suddenly fallen. She let out a cry. Fang Yuan, you. I knew she wanted me to help her. But if I went in now, it would be far too awkward. Still, we were running for our lives. How could I worry about that now? I rushed in and found Shang Xinci sprawled across the floor. When she saw me come in, she tried to cover herself, but it was no use. I covered her with my t-shirt and bent down. Put your arms around my neck. Shang Xinci's face flushed so red it seemed ready to bleed. But she did as I said. Once her arms were around my neck, I lifted her onto the bed. Where does it hurt? I pulled the blanket over her. She did not dare look at me. Turning her head away, she muttered softly. Everything hurts, but I cannot tell exactly where. Is your spine all right? The thought frightened me. When you fall in a bathroom, the worst thing is injuring your spine. Back in college, I nearly became disabled from a fall. I do not know either. But my tailbone really seems to hurt. Try moving your arms and legs. Shang Xinci did as I said. Seeing that she seemed fine, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. Then I checked her legs as well. Once I was sure they were uninjured, her face turned even redder. I gently tucked the blanket around her. Luckily, this floor is not tiled. Otherwise, you would have been badly hurt. After resting for a while, Shang Xinci was all right. So I went to shower and cleaned myself up. We spent the night in the little room by the dock. The next day, we left in an inflatable boat prepared in advance. But Shang Xinci barely spoke to me. After all, what happened last night had been too awkward and too intimate. Let us just say, we had both seen things we should and should not have seen. I felt awkward too, but it was not my fault. After we came ashore, we took a car with false plates prepared in advance and continued toward the next city. The Bai family had immense power. If we left even the slightest trace, they could discover our whereabouts. So we were especially careful. Even at night, we did not dare stay in hotels. Instead, we parked in secluded places and spent the night in the car. We also followed the news online. The trending topic about Shang Xinci and me was still on Weibo. It basically said that Bai Ningbing and Bai Chang's had announced publicly, until they found our bodies, they would not believe we were dead. And the popular young celebrity Jiang had also been taken away by the police for pushing us into the water. Bai Ningbing and Jiang had already been rumored to be involved, and I had screamed so loudly then. What I said made everyone there think it was a crime of passion. Leaning back in the driver's seat, I gave a cold laugh. They already have lovers on the side, yet they pretend to search for our bodies. What hypocrites! Shang Xinci lay in the passenger seat and nodded in agreement. I finally understand these wealthy families. Saving face is their top priority, but the things they do are utterly disgusting. Exactly. Yet after doing such filthy things, no one condemns them. People even call it a romantic scandal. People are even following the drama. I opened Zhang Yi's fan forum and showed Shang Xinci. Look, they are all insulting me. Zhang Yi and sister Ningbing are a perfect match. That Fang Yuan should just die. How dare that kept man monopolize sister Ningbing? Disgusting. Shang Xinci read the comments and could not hold back a laugh. People's values really do follow a pretty face these days. But you are handsome too. Heh. Back then, I was the campus heartthrob. Loads of girls chased after me. Reminiscing about those days made me sound even better than I was. Shang Xinci rolled her eyes. Then, for some reason, her face reddened again. Well, you do not need to feel awkward. We were running for our lives, after all. I gave an awkward laugh. But Shang Xinci shook her head. I am not like you. No matter how badly you and Bai Ningbing get along, the whole villa can hear you too at night. But I have never been with anyone. Come on. You have been married to old Bai for 4 years, right? I stared at her in shock. Her face reddened further, and her voice grew quieter. Old Bai is not physically up to it. He has a heart condition. The doctor told him to avoid strenuous activity. On the surface, I am his wife. But really, I am his living caregiver. Why else do you think he chose me? Because I am a nurse. I had forgotten that. Before Shang Xinci married into the family, she had been a senior caregiver at the Bai family's private hospital. So, you have never dated before? I had crushes on several people, but my family was poor. My parents were chronically ill, and my brother worked to put me through school. He also had to earn money for their medical bills. I worked throughout school too. I had no time for romance, and dating was too expensive. Do not laugh at me. But when I was in school, I wore the same 2 sets of underwear for 3 years. Every family has its burdens. After hearing that, Xinci patted my shoulder. That is nothing. My roommate's family was much better off than mine, but they favored sons over daughters. Her parents were always trying to marry her off to a rich man. My family may have been poor, but my parents cherished me. My brother was wonderful to me too, to put me through school. He never dated either. By the way, now that we have run away, our families will not be in danger, will they? Xinci shook her head and gave me a mysterious smile. Do not worry. I have arranged everything. Fang Yuan, can you tell me about you and Bai Ningbing? I only know that you married into her family. I do not know how you two got together. I thought for a moment. There is not much of a story between Bai Ningbing and me. Back then, I was a big name at school. I was handsome and an academic genius. Bai Ningbing was also a famous wealthy heiress on campus. We should never have crossed paths. Later, Bai Ningbing's roommate wanted to pursue me, but she did not dare confess. So Bai Ningbing shouted beneath my dorm building. I went downstairs, and she handed me the love letter. I was so dazzled by Bai Ningbing's beauty that I lost my head. It was love at first sight for me. I had also been drinking with my roommates, so I was feeling bold. I tossed the letter aside and shouted, I like you too. Bai Ningbing froze and was about to explain, but I pulled her into my arms and kissed her. Then she slapped me, and I learned she had only been delivering the letter for someone else. I was so mortified I wanted the floor to swallow me whole. But after that, I could not forget her. I kept arranging chance encounters and making clumsy attempts to talk to her. Then later, some friends from her social circle came to see me and humiliated me viciously. They told me about Bai Ningbing's family background. They told me to get lost, saying I was nowhere near good enough for her. I was in a lot of pain then, but after looking into Bai Ningbing, I understood just how vast the gap between us was. So after that, I stopped seeking Bai Ningbing out, because I had always known that people need to come from equal backgrounds. Later, before I even graduated, an internet technology company recruited me. They offered me an annual salary of 10 million yuan, along with stock dividends. I worked at that company for over a year and delivered solid results. While seeking investment, I ran into Bai Ningbing again. I secured the investment, and Bai Ningbing actually invited me to dinner. I had always carried a torch for her, so I did not refuse. Even when I agreed to dinner with her, my voice was shaking. As we spent more time together, I learned Bai Ningbing had no idea. Her friends had humiliated me. She had also been training at the company, so she had barely been going to school. She said she had always been keeping an eye on me and had messaged me before, but I had blocked her. She said it had hurt her. Then, to stand up for me, she called over the friends who had humiliated me and slapped them in front of me. In the end, she pursued me and proposed that I marry into her family. I agreed. I quickly finished my story. Xinci listened intently, as if she still wanted to hear more. She spoke wistfully. If that is the case, you two did have real feelings for each other. So what? After we married, she still did whatever she wanted. Her so-called playing along for appearances may be normal in that circle, but I could not accept it. That is what happens when a couple is not well matched. Bai Ningbing and I never share the same values. So, do you think she ever betrayed you? I shook my head and sighed. It does not matter anymore, because she and I were never from the same world. She thought it was normal socializing, but once I knew, it hurt terribly. That pain kept piling up, and so did my disappointment. In the end, there was no love left. Even without Jiang, I probably would have asked for a divorce. At least you two loved each other once. That is better than me. I married an old man and spent my marriage living like a widow. Bai Chang's kept telling me to relax and enjoy being Mrs. Bai. He said that at his age, he would not fool around anymore. Who knew he would find a new lover? The two of us were just bitter, wounded souls, pouring out our pain to each other. Our resentment came from the same place. We were kindred sufferers. After that day, Xinci and I went back to how we were before. We laughed and talked every day, continuing our life on the run. After more than 3 months, we reached a remote forest deep in the mountains. Xinci's brother worked there as a forest ranger, and her brother becoming a forest ranger had been secretly arranged by Xinci. She said she had planned an escape route long ago, because she knew her marriage would not last. We lived a peaceful life there. Each day, we gardened or went fishing. Shang Xinci's brother taught me how to defend myself, made me a bow, and taught me archery. In private, he always asked me when I would become his brother-in-law. I wanted that too, but I feared Shang Xinci would not agree. Besides, Shang Xinci and I were in an awkward situation. Then winter came. The harsh mountain winter was cold enough to kill. But in the little house where we lived, the stove kept us warm once we lit it. The only downside was that in winter, we could not grow vegetables. So we stocked up on cabbage, potatoes, radishes, and the like. It was enough to last us through winter. We had stocked up on all kinds of meat too. One day, Shang Xinci's brother went down the mountain. The Lunar New Year was approaching, after all. He planned to buy more holiday supplies, but heavy snow sealed off the mountain, stranding him below. Shang Xinci and I remained on the mountain. There had already been a certain tension between us. Once it was just the two of us. The tension between us flared like dry kindling meeting fire. Before we knew it, we had lived in the mountains for 3 years. Throughout those 3 years, we kept track of news about the Bai family. By then, Bai Ningbing had taken over the company, while Bai Cheng's was seriously ill at home. Even so, the bounty on Shang Xinci and me still stood. But it did not matter. Our families were doing well, and we enjoyed this seemingly dull, yet peaceful life. That was enough. Then one day, Shang Xinci and I were drawn in by a news report. Jiang, the man we had sent to prison, was released. That same day, he went to find Bai Ningbing. Then, news of him attacking Bai Ningbing went viral. Knowing he was doomed anyway, Jiang simply jumped from a high-rise building. When Bai Cheng's learned Bai Ningbing could not be saved, the last thread keeping him alive snapped too. Honestly, I was deeply saddened. No matter how unhappy things had been between Bai Ningbing and me, I had loved her for so many years, and now she was simply gone. Shang Xinci gently stroked my head. Let's go back and see. At least someone needs to handle their funerals. I nodded in agreement. Shang Xinci and I returned to the capital, to the home we once knew. People from the company and the media learned we had returned, and they all came knocking. At first, I only wanted to arrange the funerals and leave afterward. But people are greedy by nature, so I chose to stay. I told the public that Shang Xinci and I had never actually left, and had simply stayed out of sight, because we feared being targeted by enemies. Shang Xinci I had once been hunted by enemies of the Bai family. The scars on my body were proof, and the police had records as well. Later, Johnny pushed Shang Xinci and me into the water, so our story was easily believed. The Bai family no longer had any relatives. After Bai Ningbing and Bai Cheng's died, Shang Xinci and I were the only two heirs. We handled the father and daughter's funerals, then naturally took over all their assets. I kept the company's existing staff running things as usual, and hired a professional manager to oversee it. Shang Xinci and I still rarely went out as before, but our state of mind had completely changed. At first, we both felt tormented. It felt like we had profited from a family with no heirs. The father and daughter had only just died, and we had taken all their property. They had not treated us well while alive, but death deserves respect. Living under that guilt was not easy, until one day, while sorting through Bai Ningbing's belongings, I found something in her safe. There was a USB drive inside, containing audio and video files of her with each of her lovers. I had long known she was seeing other people, but when I saw evidence with my own eyes, my chest still tightened. But what truly shocked me was her medical report. It stated clearly that Bai Ningbing and I both had our H-negative blood. She had married me with sinister intentions from the very beginning. If anything went wrong with her health, she could use any part of my body as a replacement. I looked into Bai Cheng's records too, and found that he had kept many people as backup donors. Also, he could use them if something happened to him. Even the new lover who had trended online back then was really a spare source of organs Bai Cheng's had found for himself. After reading all that, Shang Xinci and I exchanged a look. In that moment, every trace of guilt vanished. Heaven had finally delivered justice by taking them first. Otherwise, it was anyone's guess who would ultimately come out on top. What came next was simple. Over the next few years, Shang Xinci and I gradually sold off all the assets. We took our respective families to another city and began a brand new life. On the day we left, I stood at the villa entrance. I gave the house we had lived in for years one last look. Shang Xinci stood beside me. She asked softly, "Can't bear to leave?" I shook my head and took her hand. It is not that I can't bear to leave. It just all feels a little absurd. It really is absurd. Who would have thought we would be the final winners? I opened the car door and looked back at her. She stepped forward and got into the passenger seat. The car drove out of the villa complex and merged into the vast stream of traffic.